Welcome to today's episode of Wellness Wednesdays. I am Dr. Katherine Y. Brown, your host. As you know, each time we come together for Wellness Wednesday, I introduce you to an amazing person in the community that you need to know. And with that being said, today is no different because our guest is Terri Davis McCall. Welcome to Wellness Wednesdays.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. I appreciate the invitation.
So listen, we have talked before we went live, and you do everything. In fact, you personally and professionally, you're a powerhouse. So for our viewers who may not know about your work, can you share with us a little about Terri Davis McCall?
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, I am an educator. I work in higher education. I've been in higher education for more than almost 15 years. I started out working in academics and then found my way into career services. And I have worked at a number of colleges here in the Middle Tennessee area where I have provided students with firsthand experience in molding them and shaping them into well-rounded professionals and assisting them with obtaining employment in various areas of business, accounting, healthcare, you name it. I've done it all.
I love it. I love it. So a little bit about the work that you're doing in the community in terms of wellness and as it related to COVID-19. We would love to hear about it.
Awesome. Well, you see, not only do I work in education, the whole educational system had to transition, but I also am a certified coach, and I do coaching, and I'm a minister of the gospel, and my ministry is the Wife's Circle, WIFE' Circle. And one of the things that I do with the Wife Circle is I mentor, I coach women who are working with their husbands in ministry, or if they're divorced, I still coach them and just help them through that process of recovering from the divorce. And that has been a interesting story to get to, but just to make it a long story short, I was once married, now I'm divorced, and going through all of that. Had to work through some emotional things, went through counseling and all those wonderful things. And so I took those same strategies and started coaching ladies and helping them through their challenges. And through the pandemic, I really began to get in the trenches and coaching ladies through some difficult times because, we were locked inside. And some people realized that the person they were married to wasn't the person they were married to. It's a little tea for you right there. But coaching them through that process and helping them to be honest with themselves, providing not just the self-care with getting your hair done and your nails done, but self-care was also dealing with who you are emotionally and looking at the value of who you are as a woman, as a minister of the gospel, as a helpmeet, and just in general as a person, and working through those challenges, even though we were in a lockdown situation, but giving them tools to persevere through that.
Absolutely. So you've talked about, perseverance, self-care, discovery. How did you manage your daily life during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, being a divorcee, living alone, it was quite interesting. So I was working from home. So I made sure that once I was finished with my duties, my work responsibilities, I would go out, I would walk in my neighborhood. I live near Percy Priest Lake, so I would walk in my neighborhood. I would go to my brother's home, who lived around the corner from me, and he and his wife had 7 children. So I would go over there and tell them, I need some peopling time. And I would spend time with my nieces and nephews and play card games with them, Uno, and talk to them and just do various things to stay active because going home was a lonely situation. And I'm not a big pet person, but I bought some fish. And so I love fish tanks. So that those fish were my company, and I named my fish the Jackson Five. They're not after the Jackson Five singers, but you know, my fish are named after Mahalia and Samuel Jackson, who was a Tennessee native, and so on and so forth. So, you know, I have my fish. But then, of course, I have remained connected with my family and friends virtually. But one of the things that I had to make sure that I did was just taking that time to work on Terri and making sure that Terri was okay emotionally. So I did a lot of time with writing, journaling, praying, walking, exercising, and just keeping myself together.
Oh my goodness. You know, for those people that are watching, you gave so many examples really about creating the space that you needed to be healthy, right? Because you said, hey, I need some people time, and you had family there, and then you did other things from journaling, writing. I mean, you've done so many different things. What do you think you learned most during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, I would say value your family. Um, I am blessed to say that I did not lose family members through that time period where several people were passing away. But I will say that I learned more of a value of family. And I also learned to value myself because, you know, if you lose yourself, it's hard to get back. But taking that opportunity to have conversations with my brothers and with my mom and with my dad and my cousins, and you know, and during the pandemic, one of my cousins was in a very traumatic accident and was his it was nothing but the grace of God that he survived, because he should have been decapitated. A semi truck ran into him and basically cut his car in half, and he was damaged basically on the entire right side of his body. He had no function. But I will definitely say that all of us coming together to support him virtually, and you know, having those conversations with him and encouraging him and laughing and talking really helped him to heal and go through that healing process. And today he's back to work 2 years later. But just that value of family and that value of who I am and who God has created me and called me to be, I really learned more about that.
Amazing. And I'm really glad, because I was going to ask you how he was doing, but I'm glad to hear that he's back to work and
Yes.
has recovered. Amazing. So here's my question, because I know you're doing things on the coaching side, the academic side, and probably more sides than you've even shared because you do a lot. What are you looking forward to experiencing for the remainder of this year? Today is August 10th, 2022. So we got a few more months left. What does that look like for you?
Well, I am actually writing a book. I've actually published 2 books during the pandemic. 2
See,
journals.
you didn't tell us that. Okay, wait a minute. We got to rewind the whole thing. All right. So I want to hear about all of that. And Terri, from the heart, right? That's so important, because a lot of people have dreams that are deferred.
Yes.
And so the fact that you were able to do that and accomplish that. So now you got double questions about what's come forward. So go back to the book. And then when you're done, I need you to wrap around and bring me back to those 2 books, because now this is going to be book number, is it 3?
Oh, actually, book number 4, 2.5, 3.5. But I'll explain.
Okay.
So moving forward, you know, I'm finishing up a book. You know, like I stated, I'm a minister of the gospel. So one of the things that I'm doing is one of my loves, I will say, is prayer. And I think that that is one of the best things anyone can do, is to pray, because prayer is very therapeutic. And because it helps you to empty your soul, it helps you to empty your spirit of the toxins that you deal with in life, and just, you know, tears. One of my mentor, Dr. Edna Earl Grafton, she's passed on, but she used to always say, tears cleanse the soul. And so, you know, I spent time praying through this pandemic and just really seeking God for where my life is going moving forward. Because I'm in my 40s, honey. You know, I can't do what I was doing in my 20s. But I'm writing a book on intercessory prayers, actually a manual, and there's so many books out there already about it, but I'm coming from a different perspective of prayer and how to pray, because it's a lot of methods that people put out there in their various teachings, but this is really just how to connect with God on a level that surpasses some of the traditional things that we're taught in the church, but just really passing through all that and just getting directly to the source of your prayers and the heart of your prayers and how to reach the heart of God. So that's one of the things that I'm doing, that I'm going to be finishing up before the year is out, and just doing more things with the wife circle, game night, because hanging out is fun. Playing games is fun. Connecting with other women is fun. You know, doing social events, network events, community events, and just, you know, putting my face out there so that people can see that I'm not just a pretty face and a smile, but I'm actually passionate about the things that I do and that I say, because you know, we all have a purpose in life, and I want to make sure that I am fulfilling my purpose and coming in contact with people and being a change agent in their life. So now circling back,
Yes, yes, circle back.
so my book, my first book, that they're journals and they're available on Amazon. The first book is called Discovering the Beauty of Who You Are, the Beauty of Life. And it's a journal, and it's just a place where you can go and just write your thoughts, your ideals, your prayers, whatever. It's not really focused biblically at all, but it's just a journal, simple journal. And then my second journal, which comes in two versions, which is called the Prophet's Journal. And so and you don't have to be a prophet, but you can be just, you know, a regular person. If you have dreams, if you have visions, aspirations, whatever scriptures that you focus on, you write them down in this journal. You pray about it. You watch it, those things, you know, come to pass, to come to fruition. This book is available in two forms, in paperback or spiral. And then I have Watchman on the Wall prayer journal. And this journal is basically to help you to focus your prayers towards other people. Because, you know, sometimes we have people, our loved ones that we know that are going through things, and, you know, and it's typical for people to say, I'm praying for you, but they're really not. But this book helps you to remain accountable to who you say you're praying for. Because, you know, I could say all day, Dr. Brown, I'm really sorry that you are going through that situation, and I'm going to pray for you. And after I walk away, I may not see you again, and I may not even pray for you. But I can take this journal and write, you know, that I'm praying for Dr. Brown for, you know, that her pinky toe gets healed or her baby toe gets healed or whatever. And I pray about that. And the next time I'll see you, you may say, hey, you know, this happens, and I can. And this is now the positive aspect of it. And I can go back and write in my journal, this has come to pass, or this has happened, or maybe adjusting my prayer, how I pray for you. So prayer is very essential to all of our lives, regardless on who you believe, what you believe. Prayer is essential. And so those are some things that I'm doing, and just continuously being a great coach, working in academia, and encouraging my students, and doing some other little things that I like to do on the side. I used to do photography, so I'm going to start picking that up again because it's a hobby of mine. And also I do graphics. I do little graphic designs for people, for churches, for businesses, things like that, just small marketing things. So I'm a jack of all trades.
It sounds like it. Now, I want to hear more about the academic side and your students. What is it, a certain major, career path? What does that look like for you?
Well, I work at a local career college here in Nashville, and at the college, you know, I'm director of career services. So my daily responsibilities are to coach, to educate, to encourage, and to help our students to get into the path of their career goals. And so those career goals can be in allied health, dental assisting, hygiene, HVAC, any form of business. That could be accounting, HR. And so that's what I do is, just kind of steer our students, encouraging them. We have individuals that come to school and they say, well, I came to school, but this is not really what I want to do. So my goal is to help them get to the place of where they want to be career-wise, because you listen, student loans cost too much to be wasting time and money. That good old education that I'm still paid for at Fisk University did not go to waste. So I'm making sure that my students that I work with, that they don't allow what they pursued in academics to go to waste. So that's something that I really, I've always been an educator. I've always been a lover. Even when I was a kid, when I would learn what I learned in school, I would come back home and teach my cousins who were younger than me. So I've been a teacher from the heart since I could talk. And so that's just something that I love to do. I love teaching, and I love educating. I love motivating. I love seeing people achieve the things that they were setting forth to do.
I love it. So we think about the last, oh my goodness, 2 years was something that we never could have anticipated. And now we have new things that are happening. There are new variants. There's conversations about monkeypox and all of these things that are happening. So with all of that said, if you are successful in your goals in terms of wellness and resiliency, where will you be at in the next 12 months?
Wow, it's really funny that you asked that, because I actually have been kind of like doing some career mapping for myself. And in the next 12 months, my goal is to either advance in the company that I'm working with now, or move on to something new. But still, I want to be in a position where I can help in the community, where I can work in the community, where I can provide education, where I can provide some form of hands-on experience, because that's what I like to do. I like working with people. I love working with people one-on-one. And, there's so many great organizations that I would love to partner with, where I feel like I would be a great asset to their clients or their patients or whomever. So, I'm just looking to expand and grow. The sky is the limit. I am not putting any parameters on where I'm going.
Okay, so if you are successful in the next 12 months, the sky will be the limit and we will see growth. That's what we will see, right? Yes. So we don't know what that growth looks like, but we're going to see growth. And that is wonderful. Yes. How can people contact you or learn more about the work that you're doing across the many sectors in which you serve?
Absolutely. Well, the Wife Circle, WIFESCIRCLE, thewifecircle.com. That is my website. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Again, it's a great organization to come and just connect with other women. And guess what? You don't have to be married. You can just contact me on social media. I'm everywhere. Everywhere you want to be, like Visa. But I'm also lend my time to various organizations, and I volunteer. I sit on the board of Volunteers of America. So you'll see me out in the community with them doing some volunteering. Breast Cancer Society, getting prepared to participate in the upcoming walk in October, and getting ready to do something with Second Harvest Food Bank. So my hands are going to be everywhere. Then, of course, I am always active, and you can always find me. If not on social media, you can find me at my local worship center, Without Limits Christian Center in Antioch, Tennessee, where I work closely there with my senior leaders. and there to help in the community. We do things in the community there, and we serve a lot of homeless individuals that come to us and providing them with food and clothing, and even shelter at times when we know that they have no place to go. So I'm just working with a number of organizations, and so, but you can definitely find me. You can Google me, Terri Davis McCall. You can find my books on Amazon by just typing in my name, Terri Davis McCall, and purchase them. And I do speaking engagements, Christian and secular. I do coaching opportunities, so I'm available to assist.
Thank you so much for being here on
Thank
today.
you.
And because you've talked to us about so many different things, and that's why I'm excited that people can, if they want to get your book, they can get it, if they just want to find out about the work. But really, to me, is that you can achieve your goals despite what's happening in the world around you. And
absolutely,
that is what your story reminds us, is that you're serving the community from the academic perspective, from a faith-based perspective, and from a personal, even a humanitarian perspective. And sometimes we need to consider that even during a pandemic, there is an opportunity and a way that you can serve. So thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to say this, even though we're not completely out of the pandemic,
Correct.
Things have just slightly adjusted, but I just want to encourage those who are watching this that be purposeful about getting outside of your box and stretching beyond your own borders and doing something that you have not done. Talk to somebody that you don't normally speak to, the homeless person on the street, or that lady you see in line at the grocery store. Pay it forward. Just putting yourself in position to help one another. We are our brother's keeper at the end of the day, because there's so many people who are still afraid to come outside. There's still so many people who are afraid of getting infected with the virus, whether it's COVID or monkeypox. But be a lending hand so that someone can say thank you, and just be there for somebody. It's important.
On that note, that is a perfect way to end today's episode of Wellness Wednesday. For our viewers around the world, please like, follow, share this message, this page with other people so they can meet Terri Davis McCall and all of the voices that have been a part of Wellness Wednesday. Until next time, I am Dr. Katherine Y. Brown, your host, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Thank you.